Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC GSMC Sports Network. Ooh, that was rough. My name is Samantha Genzer, and I am going to be your host for today. We have a very exciting episode for you guys. We're going to be covering the HYROX World Championships, USWNT official roster predictions, the golfers competing in the Olympics, the softball team rosters for the second series of the AUX, and make sure you stay till the end of the show to hear about the past and current student athletes competing in the track and field Olympic trials. Before we begin, I wanted to remind you guys to like and subscribe to the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. This link also puts your questions and comments at the top of the list so that I see them when they get read on the air. So if you want to have that interactive sort of aspect of this podcast, use the link to get your questions at the top of the list so that I can see them and read them, and it will be super fun and nice. Also, it really helps the show. We really do appreciate it. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy today's content. Okay, I'm just making sure that everything is set right now because, okay, there we go. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we are streaming because my computer was glitching. So that would be bad if I was just talking to myself. Anyway, so we're starting our show off today talking about the HYROX World Championships, which took place from June 7th to the 9th in France. We're taking a little bit of a break from the CrossFit Games. We talk about CrossFit a lot on this channel, and I love talking about the games. But there is a little bit of a gap actually before the games take place, as they're taking place in August. So instead, I wanted to recap a different CrossFit competition that is still very important. It had some great and intense competition. So here's a little background information about this competition. This competition is pretty new. Not really, but it kind of is. And it's been increasing in popularity a lot. So if you've heard of it, great. If you haven't, great. This is your chance to learn about it. So HYROX is a unique fitness competition that combines running and functional workouts to test participants' endurance, strength, and overall fitness, just like your normal CrossFit competition. Although this one does have a bit more focus on cardio, and you'll see. So HYROX competitions are divided into several categories to accommodate different fitness levels and formats. The pro singles category is where athletes compete individually, and it's just an entire different race format on their own. And then the doubles category, two athletes compete together, running together, but splitting the functional workout stations between them. In the mixed relay category, it's teams of 4 athletes, and each member completes 2 1-kilometer run and 2 functional workout stations. And then lastly, there's an age group category that's pretty self-explanatory. So each HYROX race consists of 8 1-kilometer runs interspersed with 8 functional workout stations. Okay, so here is the sequence. It goes 1-kilometer run to 1,000-meter ski erg, 1-kilometer run to 50-meter sled push, 1-kilometer run to 50-meter sled pull. You have that run again, 80-meter burpee, broad jumps, and then to the run, 1,000-meter row, 1-kilometer run, 200-meter farmer's carry, 1-kilometer run, 100-meter sandbag lunges, then to the run, and then lastly 75 wall balls. And it's 100 wall balls for men, but 75 for women. This is very CrossFit-like. I mean, it literally is CrossFit. But compared to the CrossFit semifinals workouts, the HYROX race is more cardio focused, at least it seems like with these different intervals. So here is how the competition actually works. Athletes start by participating in local HYROX events held in cities around the world. These events are open to everyone and serve as the initial qualifying rounds. Next is the regional qualifications, where top performers from the local events advance and compete in this narrow field. Next is the World Championship qualifications, where the top athletes from regional qualifications earn their spot at the HYROX World Championships. Qualification is based on time and overall performance in the regional events. Lastly is the Elite 15. This is the top 15 men and top 15 women worldwide based on their times and performance throughout the season. They compete in the Elite 15 at the World Championships. So this is not really a separate competition. It is part of the World Championships. So now let's talk about the results from the championships. So we're going to talk about the Elite 15 race in the women's because this is a women's sports podcast. Okay, so In the women's elite 15 race, Megan Jacoby demonstrated her dominance from the third station onwards, securing first place in every remaining station and finishing nearly 4 minutes ahead of her closest competitor, Lauren Weeks. Jacoby's comprehensive victory was a testament to her strategic racing and endurance background. She ended with a time of 59 minutes and 59 seconds, which is so impressive that she was able to get below an hour, unlike the rest of her competitors. Jacoby said, "I raced a tactically smart race. I come from running and endurance, and I feel like that having that experience has helped me in the sport significantly. I know how to run. I know what I should be doing. I know how it should feel. Having my daughter here was super emotional for me. I spent a few weeks over in Europe trying to get acclimated and focus on training, so I hadn't seen her for a few weeks. It was also my birthday on Wednesday, so the HYROX World Champion title comes as the cherry on top." So she really did have the perfect win. Her daughter was here, and it was her birthday. So in second was Weeks at 1 hour 37 minutes. And Vivian Tafuto finished right behind her at 1 hour 3 minutes 44 seconds. Jeez. And even closer to that was the fourth place finisher, Viola Oberlander, at 1 hour 3 minutes 45 seconds. Literally 1 second apart, but we'll get into that. So Weeks is a 3-time champion and has had over a year of postpartum training. She actually set a new world record at an astonishing 58 minutes 6 seconds in March at the Vienna Major. Weeks has a polarizing race style, bursting into a brutal space and daring her opponents to come with her. In recent races, she has shown a bit more restraint in the very early portions of the race, and her results have yielded a European and North American champion title. She also recently set the world record in decafit. It definitely was not shocking to see her finish in second. It was shocking that she didn't finish in first, but then again, she recently had a child. It makes sense that she was in second. Tafuto has a streak of finishing fourth, so seeing her finish third was a huge improvement. She's a former D1 swimmer and has an extra year running training under her belt, which really helped her in the competition. She also is one of the strongest athletes on the ergs and sleds, and she particularly stood out in those events. Oberlander is a seasoned athlete when it comes to World Championships events. The 2020 runner-up has been in the fold for several seasons, and 2024 is no exception. She has been in podium contention for most of the majors this season. She's very aggressive in the early stages of the race and pushes the sled as well as any athlete that will toe the line, sometimes to her detriment though. She definitely performed well in that sled, but was still unable to make it in the top 3. You have to consider her time though, because she literally was 1 second right after the third place finisher, so that just goes to show that how she was really could have been in the top 3 with very minor adjustments or improvements. Lasting fifth was Linda Meyer with a time of 1 hour 3 minutes 57 seconds. She actually was a favorite to win the 2022 World Championships, but ended up letting it slip through her hands while finishing second that year. She has shown big race potential, and she showed that this year, really. She set the world record in early 2023 before experiencing injuries and setbacks towards the second half of the season. She had a disappointing end to 2023, but was very eager and hungry to get back out there for this season. She just was not able to make the podium at this competition, and without those previous injuries, I think she would have had a better chance to podium. But still, she was very close and still did absolutely amazing and showed her natural strength. Now, moving on to a completely different category. In the pro women's category, we had Seka Arning in first place at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 53 seconds. Jade Skillen in second at 1 hour, 4 minutes, 19 seconds. And Lucy Proctor in third at 1 hour, 4 minutes, 46 seconds. As you can see, there is a huge gap between the first and second place finishers in this category. Arning's performance in the wall ball segment was actually slower than her average, according to her coach. But even though this wasn't her best segment, it still did not affect her too much, as she was able to come out on top by a huge margin. One really notable thing about Arning's performance is her pacing strategies. She's a very skilled runner. She maintains a steady pace in early running segments that conserves her energy for strength-based challenges, and just already having that natural speed puts her at an advantage from her competitors. She did really well in the running faster in each of her segments, which really set her apart from the competitors and put her at a much quicker time. Like, she was really able to increase her speed little by little in each segment. I really recommend following Skillen on Instagram because her page is very inspiring and so impressive. So if you're someone who likes to watch fitness coaches or trainers online, I recommend checking her page out. I think what helped her a lot in this competition was her transition efficiency and pacing strategies. Skillen could have started at a slightly faster pace in the beginning of the race to knock off some seconds, but then again, I think pacing herself like she did was the best thing for her, because she could have ended up exhausting herself for the strength events if she ended up trying to go too fast in the beginning. I was really impressed by her. She has a great blend of strength and speed, and you could really tell that in the competition. Lastly, moving on to a different category, two-time obstacle course world champion Ida Mathild Stensgaard was representing Denmark in the first ever elite mixed relay world championship. You can already guess how competitive this competition is. This was the first one, so it was extremely big headlines. So the 33-year-old was able to utilize the strength and speeds required for OCR to help the Danish team secure 10th. Stensgaard had just missed qualifying for the Elite 15 in the season, but decided to use the relay event as a chance to get some speed training and before she sets off to defend her title at the OCR European Championship. So this is kind of like her precursor to that. Speaking before the race, she said, "One of the reasons behind HYROX's growth is that you can compete no matter what. It's just going to depend on how fast you can go. There are other sports like CrossFit or OCR where you need a specific skill set to be able to complete the competition or the workout. In HYROX, most people will be able to do the course. It also includes more running, and I love running. Combining running and strength training just gives you an all-around good physique and athleticism. Training never gets boring. I think you'll see me in HYROX more. In OCR, I've won a lot now. I have a lot of defending titles, so the feeling of really wanting to win is harder to achieve." So we're now going to move on to our next segment where we talk about predictions for the USWNT Olympic roster. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.